Have you ever wondered if some of the most powerful tools for protecting your health are not found in a pharmacy, but are already living inside your body right now? It may sound surprising, but trillions of tiny organisms live in your digestive system. Together, they form what scientists call the gut microbiome. For years, researchers thought these bacteria were only responsible for helping us digest food. Today, we know they do much more. They communicate with your immune system, influence inflammation, help produce important compounds, and may even affect how your body responds to disease. This growing field of research has changed the way many scientists think about health and aging. Instead of focusing only on individual nutrients or medications, researchers are looking at entire ecosystems inside the human body. And one of the most fascinating discoveries is that certain beneficial gut bacteria appear to support the body's natural defenses in remarkable ways. Now, before we go any further, let's be clear about something important. There is no single food that cures cancer. There is no magic ingredient that guarantees protection from disease. Anyone who tells you otherwise is oversimplifying a very complex topic. However, what the latest science does suggest is that the foods we eat every day can influence the health of our gut microbiome, and that microbiome may play an important role in supporting immune function, reducing harmful inflammation, and promoting overall wellness. Think of your gut as a vast rainforest. In a healthy rainforest, thousands of species work together in balance. When diversity is high, the ecosystem becomes resilient. It can withstand stress, adapt to challenges, and continue functioning efficiently. But when diversity is lost, problems begin to emerge. The same thing can happen inside your digestive system. Many people today unknowingly damage their gut microbiome through highly processed foods, excessive sugar intake, chronic stress, lack of sleep, and a sedentary lifestyle. Over time, beneficial bacteria may decrease while less helpful organisms become more dominant. Researchers have linked this imbalance to a variety of health concerns, including obesity, metabolic issues, chronic inflammation, and weakened immune responses. What makes this topic especially exciting is that the microbiome can change relatively quickly. Unlike many aspects of health that take years to improve, gut bacteria can begin responding to dietary changes within days. Every meal becomes an opportunity to either nourish beneficial microbes or deprive them. One group of beneficial bacteria has attracted particular attention among scientists. These microbes thrive on dietary fiber found in plant foods. When they digest fiber, they produce compounds known as short-chain fatty acids. These compounds help maintain the integrity of the gut lining and support communication between the digestive system and the immune system. Imagine your gut lining as a protective wall. When that wall remains strong, it helps keep unwanted substances from entering the bloodstream. When it becomes compromised, inflammation may increase. Beneficial bacteria help reinforce that barrier, creating an environment where the body can function more efficiently. This is one reason why populations consuming traditional diets rich in vegetables, legumes, fruits, nuts, and whole grains often show greater microbial diversity. Their gut bacteria receive a constant supply of nourishment. In contrast, diets dominated by ultra-processed foods tend to provide less of the fiber these beneficial microbes depend on. One food category that has gained significant attention is fermented foods. These include foods such as yogurt with live cultures, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, and other naturally fermented products. Fermentation introduces beneficial microorganisms and creates compounds that may support digestive health. Timing also matters. Many people focus entirely on what they eat, but rarely think about when they eat. Research suggests that maintaining consistent meal timing may support the natural rhythms of both the body and the microbiome. Beneficial gut bacteria follow daily cycles, just like many processes in the human body. A practical strategy is to establish regular eating patterns, instead of grazing continuously throughout the day. Giving your digestive system periods of rest may help support healthy microbial activity. This doesn't require extreme fasting or complicated protocols. Often, simply avoiding late-night eating and maintaining consistent meal times can be a useful starting point. Another overlooked factor is sleep. Scientists have discovered a fascinating relationship between sleep quality and gut health. Poor sleep can alter microbial composition, while an unhealthy microbiome may contribute to sleep disturbances. It's a two-way conversation. Think about what happens after a night of poor sleep. Many people crave sugary foods, processed snacks, and extra caffeine. Those choices can influence gut bacteria. Over time, a cycle develops where poor sleep contributes to poor dietary choices, which then affect the microbiome and potentially make quality sleep even harder to achieve. Physical activity is another powerful tool. Exercise doesn't just strengthen muscles and improve cardiovascular health. Studies suggest that regular movement may increase microbial diversity. Even moderate daily walking can contribute to a healthier internal environment. The encouraging news is that you don't need to become a marathon runner. Consistency matters more than intensity. A daily walk after meals, regular movement throughout the day, and reducing prolonged sitting can all support better overall health. Now let's talk about one of the most important foods for beneficial gut bacteria: fiber-rich plants. Many people dramatically underestimate how little fiber they consume. Yet fiber serves as fuel for many beneficial microbes. When you eat foods such as beans, lentils, chickpeas, oats, berries, apples, broccoli, leafy greens, and nuts, you're not just feeding yourself. You're feeding trillions of helpful organisms that perform important functions on your behalf. Researchers sometimes refer to this concept as feeding your inner garden. Every fiber-rich meal plants seeds that support microbial diversity. Over weeks and months, those small choices can create meaningful changes. What's remarkable is that these changes are not limited to digestion. Scientists continue exploring links between the microbiome and immune regulation, inflammation control, metabolic health, brain function, and healthy aging. The gut appears to be connected to nearly every major system in the body. This doesn't mean every study has all the answers. The microbiome remains one of the most rapidly evolving fields in medicine. New discoveries emerge constantly. But one message continues appearing again and again. A diverse, healthy microbiome is associated with better overall health outcomes. As we continue exploring this topic, we'll look deeper into specific foods that help beneficial bacteria thrive, why certain microbes have captured the attention of cancer researchers, and how simple lifestyle habits can create an environment where your body is better equipped to protect itself. The exciting part is that many of these strategies are accessible to almost everyone. They don't require expensive equipment, complicated supplements, or extreme diets. They begin with everyday choices that influence the microscopic world living inside you. And once you understand how these tiny organisms work alongside your immune system, you may never look at your next meal the same way again. When most people think about protecting their health, they focus on what they can see. They think about body weight, blood pressure, cholesterol numbers, or the amount of exercise they get each week. Those things matter, but there is an entire hidden world inside your body, influencing these outcomes every single day. The fascinating thing is that this invisible world may respond more quickly to your daily habits than almost any other system in your body. Scientists studying the gut microbiome have discovered that beneficial bacteria don't simply live in the digestive tract. They actively communicate with immune cells throughout the body. In fact, a large portion of the immune system is connected to the digestive system. This means that every meal you eat is sending information not only to your stomach, but also to the cells responsible for protecting your health. Think of your immune system as a highly trained security team. Its job is to recognize threats, respond appropriately, and maintain balance. But like any security team, it performs best when communication is clear. Beneficial gut bacteria help facilitate that communication. One of the ways they do this is through the production of specialized compounds created during the fermentation of dietary fiber. When beneficial bacteria consume fiber, they produce substances that help support healthy immune responses. Researchers have found that these compounds may influence inflammation levels, gut barrier function, and various aspects of metabolic health. This is why many experts now recommend thinking differently about food. Instead of asking only, "What nutrients does this food contain?" they suggest asking another question: "What will this food do for my microbiome?" Let's take a simple example. Imagine two breakfasts. The first breakfast consists of sugary cereal, a sweetened beverage, and a packaged pastry. It may provide calories, but it offers very little nourishment for beneficial gut bacteria. The second breakfast includes oats, berries, walnuts, and plain yogurt with live cultures. Not only does this meal provide nutrients for the person eating it, but it also provides fuel for beneficial microbes. Over time, those choices accumulate. One meal may not transform your microbiome overnight, but hundreds of meals across months and years create powerful effects. One food group that consistently stands out in research is berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries contain natural plant compounds known as polyphenols. These compounds are not fully absorbed in the upper digestive tract. Instead, many reach the colon, where beneficial bacteria help break them down. This interaction creates something remarkable. The bacteria benefit from the compounds, and in return, they produce substances that may support overall health. It becomes a partnership between food, microbes, and the human body. Green tea offers another interesting example. For centuries, people have consumed green tea for wellness. Modern researchers have discovered that some of its beneficial compounds interact directly with gut bacteria. Certain microbes help transform these compounds into forms that the body can use more effectively. This highlights an important concept. Health isn't always about individual foods acting alone. Often, it's about how foods interact with the ecosystem inside your body. Another powerful category is legumes. Beans, lentils, peas, and chickpeas are among the richest sources of fiber available. Yet many people eat very little of them. What makes legumes special is that they provide several different types of fiber. This diversity helps nourish a wider variety of beneficial bacteria. Remember, diversity is one of the key markers of a healthy microbiome. Imagine trying to maintain a healthy rainforest with only one species of plant. The ecosystem would become fragile. The same principle applies to your gut. The more diverse your plant intake, the more diverse your microbial population tends to become. Researchers often encourage people to consume a wide variety of plant foods throughout the week, rather than relying on the same few foods every day. Different plants provide different fibers, different polyphenols, and different nutrients that support different microbial species. This doesn't mean you need a complicated diet plan. Sometimes the simplest approach is the most effective. Add more colors to your plate. Include vegetables of different types. Rotate fruits throughout the week. Experiment with legumes, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. Speaking of spices, many contain bioactive compounds that researchers continue studying for their effects on health and inflammation. Turmeric, ginger, garlic, cinnamon, and many traditional culinary herbs contribute far more than flavor. They add unique compounds that may interact with both the microbiome and the body's natural defense systems. Garlic is especially interesting. It contains compounds that act as prebiotics. Prebiotics are essentially food for beneficial bacteria. Unlike probiotics, which introduce microorganisms directly, prebiotics nourish the beneficial microbes already living inside you. This distinction is important because many people focus exclusively on probiotic supplements, while overlooking the foods that beneficial bacteria actually need to survive and thrive. Imagine buying plants for your garden, but never watering them. That's similar to consuming probiotics, without consistently providing fiber-rich foods that help beneficial microbes flourish. Now, let's discuss something that often surprises people: stress. Most individuals think of stress as an emotional experience. They think about work deadlines, financial pressures, family responsibilities, or everyday worries. What many don't realize is that chronic stress can influence the gut microbiome. Researchers have observed that prolonged stress may alter microbial balance. At the same time, the microbiome appears to influence how the brain responds to stress. This two-way communication pathway is often called the gut-brain axis. This means your thoughts can affect your gut, and your gut can influence how you feel. Have you ever noticed digestive discomfort during periods of intense stress? That's not a coincidence. The brain and digestive system remain in constant communication. Because of this connection, lifestyle practices that help manage stress may indirectly support gut health. Activities such as walking outdoors, meditation, deep breathing exercises, spending time with loved ones, and maintaining healthy sleep habits may benefit both mental well-being and microbial balance. Let's talk more about meal timing, because it's an area where many people can make meaningful improvements without changing what they eat. Late-night eating has become increasingly common. Many people consume a large portion of their daily calories shortly before bed. However, your digestive system and microbiome follow daily rhythms that align with your body's internal clock. Giving your digestive system adequate time to process food before sleep may support healthier metabolic function. A practical approach is to finish dinner several hours before bedtime whenever possible. This doesn't need to be perfect. Life happens. Schedules vary. The goal is consistency, not perfection. Hydration also plays a role. Water supports digestion, nutrient transport, and countless biological processes. While water itself does not directly feed gut bacteria, proper hydration helps create an environment where digestive processes function more efficiently. One simple habit many people find helpful is beginning the day with a glass of water before consuming coffee or breakfast. It's a small action, but small actions repeated daily often create significant long-term benefits. As scientists continue studying the microbiome, one message grows increasingly clear: health is not determined by a single superfood, miracle supplement, or isolated habit. Instead, it emerges from the interaction of many daily choices. The foods you eat, the quality of your sleep, your level of physical activity, how you manage stress, your meal timing, your exposure to nature, your social connections. These factors work together to shape the internal environment where beneficial bacteria live. And when that internal environment becomes healthier, your body may be better positioned to support immune function, regulate inflammation, and maintain resilience as you age. In the next part, we'll explore some of the specific bacterial species that have attracted significant scientific attention, why researchers are studying their connection to immune health, and the foods that appear particularly effective at helping these beneficial microbes grow and thrive. By now, you can probably see why scientists are so fascinated by the gut microbiome. We're no longer talking about digestion alone. We're talking about an entire ecosystem that may influence immune function, inflammation, metabolism, healthy aging, and many other aspects of human health. One of the most exciting developments in recent years has been the discovery that certain beneficial bacteria appear to interact closely with immune cells. Researchers are working to understand exactly how these relationships function and why some people seem to have more diverse and resilient microbiomes than others. A healthy microbiome is not defined by a single bacterial species. Instead, it is usually characterized by balance and diversity. Think about a thriving forest. It contains many different trees, plants, insects, birds, and microorganisms working together. Remove too many species, and the ecosystem becomes fragile. The same principle applies inside your digestive tract. Scientists have identified several groups of bacteria that are commonly associated with positive health outcomes. One example is a group known for producing short-chain fatty acids. These compounds help nourish the cells lining the colon and contribute to maintaining a healthy gut barrier. Remember that gut barrier we discussed earlier? It acts like a protective wall, separating the contents of your digestive system from the rest of your body. When that barrier functions properly, it helps regulate what passes through and what stays out. Beneficial bacteria contribute to maintaining this balance. Among the bacterial species attracting scientific interest is one called Akkermansia muciniphila. Researchers have observed that people with higher levels of this bacterium often display markers associated with metabolic health. While studies continue, scientists believe it may help support the integrity of the gut lining and interact with the immune system in beneficial ways. The important takeaway isn't that you need to memorize bacterial names. The takeaway is that the foods you eat can influence which microbes thrive inside your body. So how do you encourage beneficial bacteria to flourish? The answer begins with feeding them what they naturally prefer. One of the richest sources of nourishment for these microbes comes from plant fibers. Vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts, seeds, and whole grains provide a wide variety of fibers that beneficial bacteria can use as fuel. Cruciferous vegetables deserve special attention here. Foods like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and kale contain unique compounds that researchers continue studying for their potential role in supporting the body's natural defense systems. Broccoli, in particular, contains compounds that become activated when the vegetable is chopped, chewed, or lightly cooked. These compounds have attracted significant scientific interest because they may help support healthy cellular processes. This is one reason many experts encourage people to include cruciferous vegetables regularly rather than occasionally. You don't need enormous portions. Consistency is more important than quantity. Another remarkable food group is mushrooms. Mushrooms contain unique fibers known as beta-glucans. These compounds may interact with immune cells and support healthy immune function. Different mushroom varieties offer different combinations of nutrients and beneficial compounds. Adding mushrooms to soups, stir-fries, salads, or omelets can be an easy way to increase dietary diversity. Now let's discuss nuts and seeds. Walnuts have received particular attention in microbiome research. Studies suggest they may help support beneficial bacterial populations while providing healthy fats and plant nutrients. Flax seeds and chia seeds offer another advantage. They provide fiber along with compounds that support overall health. Even small daily servings can contribute to microbial nourishment. What surprises many people is that beneficial bacteria also appreciate variety. Imagine eating the exact same meal every day for years. Eventually, your nutrient intake would become limited. A similar concept applies to your microbiome. Different microbes specialize in processing different fibers and plant compounds. The more diverse your plant intake, the greater the opportunity to support a diverse microbial community. Some researchers encourage people to aim for 30 different plant foods per week. That number may sound intimidating at first, but it becomes surprisingly achievable when you count herbs, spices, nuts, seeds, vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains. A salad alone might contain 6 or 7 different plants. Add berries to breakfast. Add beans at lunch. Use garlic and herbs in dinner preparation. Suddenly, diversity begins to accumulate naturally. Let's turn our attention to one of the most underestimated lifestyle factors, influencing gut health. Movement. Exercise creates changes throughout the body that extend far beyond muscles and cardiovascular fitness. Studies suggest physically active individuals often demonstrate greater microbial diversity than sedentary individuals. This doesn't necessarily mean intense workouts are required. In fact, one of the simplest habits may be one of the most effective: walking after meals. A short walk after eating can support digestion, help regulate blood sugar levels, and contribute to overall metabolic health. Over time, These benefits may indirectly support a healthier internal environment. Another factor that deserves attention is exposure to nature. Modern life keeps many people indoors for most of the day. Yet humans evolved in environments filled with diverse microorganisms found in soil, plants, and natural ecosystems. Researchers are exploring how reduced exposure to environmental diversity may influence the microbiome. Spending time outdoors, gardening, walking in parks, or simply interacting with natural environments may expose the body to a broader range of beneficial microorganisms. Now, let's address a common misconception. Many people search for a single supplement that will solve all their gut health concerns. The reality is usually more complex. While certain probiotic supplements may offer benefits in specific situations, supplements cannot replace foundational habits. If someone consumes a highly processed diet, sleeps poorly, experiences chronic stress, rarely exercises, and then takes a probiotic capsule, the results are unlikely to be dramatic. Beneficial bacteria require an environment where they can survive and flourish. That environment is created through consistent lifestyle choices. Think of supplements as supporting actors, not the main character. The main character is your daily routine. What you eat most of the time, how well you sleep, how often you move, how effectively you manage stress, how consistently you hydrate, how diverse your diet is across weeks and months. These are the factors that create long-term change. One particularly powerful strategy involves combining multiple microbiome-supportive foods in a single meal. Imagine a bowl containing leafy greens, beans, broccoli, walnuts, colorful vegetables, olive oil, and herbs. That meal delivers fiber, polyphenols, healthy fats, vitamins, minerals, and plant compounds simultaneously. Your beneficial bacteria receive nourishment from multiple sources at once. This approach is often more effective than obsessing over a single superfood. People frequently ask, what is the one best food? The better question might be, how can I create a pattern of eating that supports microbial diversity? Because health rarely comes from one food. It comes from patterns repeated consistently. Another important point involves patience. The microbiome can respond quickly to dietary changes, but meaningful long-term improvements still require consistency. Many people expect immediate results. They change their diet for 3 days and wonder why nothing dramatic happened. But the body responds to what you do repeatedly. The same way a garden requires ongoing care, your microbiome thrives when beneficial habits are maintained over time. The encouraging news is that every meal offers a fresh opportunity. Every serving of vegetables, every handful of nuts, every bowl of beans, every good night's sleep, every walk after dinner, every effort to reduce stress. These actions contribute to creating an environment where beneficial microbes can thrive. And as researchers continue uncovering the connections between gut bacteria, immunity, inflammation, and healthy aging, one message remains remarkably consistent. Your daily choices may be shaping the microscopic world inside you, far more than you realize, and that microscopic world may be helping shape your health in return. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into the foods that appear especially powerful for feeding beneficial bacteria, the eating patterns associated with healthy aging around the world, and practical strategies you can begin using immediately to support a stronger and more resilient microbiome. At this point, you might be wondering what people with exceptionally healthy microbiomes actually eat on a regular basis. Interestingly, when researchers study some of the healthiest populations around the world, they often find a common pattern. These individuals may live in different countries, speak different languages, and follow different cultural traditions, but many of their eating habits share remarkable similarities. One of the biggest similarities is that they consume a large variety of plant foods throughout the week. Their diets are not built around highly processed products. Instead, meals are often centered around vegetables, legumes, fruits, herbs, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and naturally prepared foods. This doesn't mean they never enjoy treats or special meals. It simply means that the foundation of their diet consistently supports both their own health and the health of their gut microbiome. Researchers sometimes refer to these eating patterns as nutrient-dense dietary lifestyles rather than temporary diets. That's an important distinction. Temporary diets usually focus on short-term goals. Healthy lifestyles focus on habits that can be maintained for years. One reason this matters is because your gut bacteria respond best to consistency. Imagine feeding a garden-rich soil for 6 months and then abandoning it for the next 6 months. The garden would struggle. Similarly, beneficial bacteria thrive when they receive regular nourishment. This brings us to one of the most powerful food groups available. Legumes, beans, lentils, peas, and chickpeas are often overlooked because they seem simple. Yet many nutrition researchers consider them among the most valuable foods for long-term health. Legumes provide fiber, plant protein, minerals, and a steady source of nourishment for beneficial gut microbes. They also tend to promote fullness, making them useful for people trying to maintain a healthy weight. One practical strategy is to include legumes at least a few times each week. Add lentils to soups, beans to salads, chickpeas to bowls, or peas to vegetable dishes. Small additions can make a meaningful difference over time. Let's also talk about olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil contains plant compounds called polyphenols that have attracted significant scientific interest. These compounds appear to interact with both the microbiome and various systems throughout the body. Many people think olive oil is valuable only because of its healthy fats. While those fats are important, the polyphenols may be equally interesting. Using extra virgin olive oil as part of meals, rich in vegetables, can help create a nutrient-dense eating pattern that supports overall health. Another food category worth discussing is fermented foods. Traditional cultures around the world have consumed fermented foods for centuries. Long before scientists understood microbiology, people recognized that fermentation could preserve food and create unique flavors. Today, researchers understand that fermented foods may introduce beneficial microorganisms and beneficial compounds into the digestive system. Examples include yogurt with live cultures, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, and other naturally fermented foods. The key is consistency rather than excess. Some people assume they need enormous amounts of fermented foods to benefit. In reality, small regular servings may be more practical and sustainable. Now, let's explore an area that surprises many people: meal structure. Modern eating patterns often involve constant snacking from morning until late at night. Many individuals consume food over a 16 or 18-hour window every day. While occasional snacking isn't necessarily problematic, continuously eating throughout the day may not give the digestive system sufficient opportunities to rest. Researchers studying metabolic health have become increasingly interested in the timing of food intake. Although individual needs vary, maintaining a consistent eating schedule appears beneficial for many people. One simple habit is to avoid eating immediately before bedtime. When food is consumed very late at night, digestion continues during hours when the body would normally be focusing on recovery and restoration. Finishing dinner a few hours before sleep may support better digestion and overall metabolic function. Sleep itself deserves special attention because it influences nearly every aspect of health. Think about what happens during quality sleep. Your body repairs tissues, hormones are regulated, immune function is supported, the brain processes information, and your microbiome continues interacting with these systems. When sleep becomes chronically disrupted, the effects extend far beyond feeling tired the next day. Research suggests poor sleep may contribute to inflammation, metabolic challenges, altered appetite regulation, and changes in microbial balance. This is why some of the healthiest people prioritize sleep with the same seriousness they give to nutrition and exercise. A practical goal is to establish a regular sleep schedule whenever possible. Going to bed and waking up at similar times helps support the body's natural rhythms. Creating a dark, quiet sleeping environment can also improve sleep quality. Reducing screen exposure before bed may further support healthy sleep patterns. Now let's talk about another factor that often receives less attention than it deserves: social connection. Human beings are social creatures. Positive relationships can influence stress levels, emotional well-being, and overall health. Chronic loneliness and social isolation have been associated with various health challenges. While the relationship between social connection and the microbiome remains an active area of research, scientists continue exploring fascinating links between emotional well-being and gut health. Spending time with supportive friends and family members may benefit health in ways that extend beyond what we can immediately measure. Stress management is closely connected to this discussion. Most people cannot eliminate stress entirely. The goal isn't to create a stress-free life. The goal is to improve how we respond to stress. Physical activity, mindfulness practices, breathing exercises, prayer, meditation, spending time outdoors, hobbies, and meaningful relationships can all help reduce the impact of chronic stress. When stress remains elevated for extended periods, the body may enter a state of constant alertness. This can influence digestion, sleep quality, eating habits, and overall well-being. Supporting the microbiome often involves supporting the entire person. That's one reason why health experts increasingly focus on lifestyle patterns rather than isolated interventions. Let's consider a typical day built around microbiome-supportive habits. The day begins with hydration. Breakfast includes oats, berries, nuts, and yogurt with live cultures. Lunch features vegetables, legumes, herbs, and healthy fats. Physical activity is included through walking or regular exercise. Stress is managed through intentional recovery practices. Dinner contains colorful vegetables, fiber-rich foods, and balanced nutrition. Food intake ends several hours before bedtime. Sleep occurs on a consistent schedule. None of these habits are extreme. None require expensive equipment. None depend on a miracle supplement. Yet together, they create conditions that support beneficial microbes and overall health. This is one of the most empowering aspects of microbiome science. Many factors influencing gut health are within your control. You don't have to change everything overnight. In fact, gradual improvements are often more sustainable. Add 1 serving of vegetables. Increase plant diversity. Walk after dinner. Improve sleep consistency. Reduce ultra-processed foods. Drink more water. Each small action becomes a vote for the type of internal environment you want to create. Over time, those votes accumulate. The body begins responding to those choices. Beneficial microbes receive more nourishment. Metabolic health may improve. Energy levels may become more stable. Digestive comfort may improve, and the immune system may receive stronger support. Researchers continue uncovering new insights about the microbiome every year. But one principle remains remarkably consistent across studies. The healthiest outcomes rarely come from dramatic short-term changes. They come from simple habits, repeated consistently over long periods of time. In the final part, we'll bring everything together, explore practical daily strategies you can implement immediately, discuss the future of microbiome research, and explain why the tiny organisms living inside you may become one of the most important areas of health science in the decades ahead. As we reach the final part of this discussion, it's worth stepping back and appreciating how extraordinary this entire subject really is. For decades, many people viewed bacteria as something harmful that should simply be eliminated. Today, scientists understand that countless beneficial microorganisms are not only harmless, but may actually be essential partners in maintaining health. Inside your digestive system exists a living ecosystem that is constantly interacting with your immune system, metabolism, brain, and many other biological processes. Every day, your choices influence that ecosystem. Every meal sends signals. Every night of sleep affects its balance. Every period of chronic stress leaves an impact. Every healthy habit helps shape the environment where beneficial microbes live. Perhaps the most important lesson from microbiome science is that health is rarely determined by a single factor. People often search for one miracle food, one supplement, one shortcut, one secret. But the reality revealed by research is both simpler and more powerful. Health is often the result of small actions repeated consistently. The good news is that these actions are available to nearly everyone. You don't need to completely transform your life overnight. You don't need a complicated plan. You don't need to buy dozens of supplements. Instead, focus on creating conditions that allow beneficial bacteria to thrive. Let's build a practical daily framework. When you wake up, begin by hydrating. After hours of sleep, your body benefits from replenishing fluids. A glass of water can be a simple way to start the day. For breakfast, think about feeding both yourself and your microbiome. Foods such as oats, berries, nuts, seeds, and yogurt with live cultures can provide a combination of fiber, beneficial compounds, and nutrients. If you drink coffee, consider pairing it with a fiber-rich meal, rather than consuming it alone. Research suggests coffee itself contains plant compounds that may interact positively with gut bacteria when consumed in moderation. As the day continues, aim to include a variety of plant foods. Remember the concept of diversity. Different vegetables provide different fibers. Different fruits provide different polyphenols. Different legumes nourish different microbial populations. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is variety. A colorful plate is often a good sign that you're consuming a broader range of beneficial compounds. Lunch and dinner can be built around simple principles. Fill a significant portion of the plate with vegetables. Design a source of fiber-rich carbohydrates such as beans, lentils, whole grains, or other minimally processed foods. Add healthy fats from sources such as nuts, seeds, avocados, or extra virgin olive oil. Use herbs and spices generously. These small additions contribute both flavor and valuable plant compounds. Throughout the day, movement matters. One of the most practical habits is walking after meals. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need special equipment. Even a brief walk can support digestion and metabolic health. Consistency remains more important than intensity. A daily 20-minute walk performed year after year often produces more benefit than occasional extreme efforts. Now let's address something that many people overlook: recovery. Modern culture often celebrates constant productivity. People push harder, work longer, sleep less, stay connected at all hours. Yet biological systems require recovery. Your microbiome benefits when your body has opportunities to rest and restore. This means prioritizing sleep. It means managing stress. It means creating moments of calm throughout the day. One effective strategy is establishing a nighttime routine. Reduce bright light exposure before bed. Limit unnecessary screen time. Create a consistent sleep schedule. Allows your body to recognize that it is time for recovery. Over months and years, these habits can have profound effects. Another valuable concept is reducing dietary extremes. Many individuals swing between strict diets and periods of overeating. This pattern can create unnecessary stress, both physically and mentally. A more sustainable approach is building habits you can maintain long-term. Ask yourself, can I continue eating this way next month? Can I continue next year? Can I continue 5 years from now? If the answer is yes, you're likely moving in the right direction. The future of microbiome science is incredibly exciting. Researchers continue discovering new bacterial species. They are learning how microbes communicate with immune cells. They are studying how diet influences microbial diversity. They are exploring how the microbiome may affect healthy aging. They are investigating how personalized nutrition could one day be tailored to an individual's microbial profile. Imagine a future where doctors can better understand how a person's microbiome influences their health and provide more personalized recommendations. That future may be closer than many people realize. Yet even as science advances, many of the most important lessons remain surprisingly simple. Eat more plants. Increase dietary diversity. Eyes fiber-rich foods regularly. Enjoy fermented foods when appropriate. Move your body consistently. Sleep well. Manage stress. Stay hydrated. Maintain meaningful social connections. These habits have stood the test of time. What's fascinating is that modern microbiome research increasingly supports many principles that traditional cultures practiced for generations. The science is becoming more sophisticated, but the core message remains remarkably practical. Your body was designed to work in partnership with the microorganisms living inside you. When you provide the right environment, that partnership can flourish. It's also important to remember that progress doesn't require perfection. Many people become discouraged because they believe every meal must be flawless. Every habit must be perfect. Every day must go according to plan. But health doesn't work that way. What matters most is the overall pattern. One less than perfect meal won't destroy your microbiome. One stressful day won't ruin your progress. One missed workout won't erase healthy habits. What counts is what you do most of the time. The body responds to patterns. The microbiome responds to patterns. Consistency always beats perfection. If there's one message to remember from everything we've discussed, it's this. Your gut microbiome is not a passive passenger inside your body. It is an active participant in your health. The foods you choose today may influence the microbial community living inside you tomorrow. Those microbes may help shape immune function, inflammation levels, digestive health, metabolic health, and many aspects of overall well-being. And while no single food can guarantee protection from disease or act as a miracle cure, the evidence increasingly suggests that nourishing beneficial gut bacteria is one of the smartest long-term investments you can make in your health. The most powerful changes often begin with the simplest actions. A serving of vegetables, a bowl of beans, a handful of berries, a walk after dinner, an extra hour of sleep, a moment of calm during a stressful day. Small choices, repeated consistently year after year. Those choices help create an internal environment where beneficial microbes can thrive. And when those microbes thrive, they become powerful allies in supporting a healthier, stronger, and more resilient version of you. The remarkable thing is that this process begins with your very next meal.